Okay, so Team B, I'm going to start off by asking if you guys have any questions so far from the practice you guys have done yourself, or when you guys were looking at other your teammates' example, if you guys have any questions or doubts that you guys want to clarify. Anything?
I had something. Let me see if I can find it.
Same goes for Team A. If you guys have anything, we can rotate back to you guys as well.
Hi, I think I looked at a place where it should be a trap, and I wasn't sure. Casey, you answered me, and Eric also. We discussed if this would be a trap or not, and that was in a big trend, and we had this little range that went on for a day. It didn't take out any buyer, but still, because it took a day, I thought maybe this would be like a release point. I wasn't sure about that.
All right, which pair was it?
Which pair was it? I don't remember.
Let's see. I think it was Cadian.
Cadian, yeah, Cadian, yes.
It was a nice range on the uptrend, and then it reacted later on, and I was just curious. Yeah, that's exactly the one I was thinking of.
Was it this one here?
Maybe I should.
Probably need to go back a little bit more. I can't see the date range in the video, Laila. In your video, I cannot, because the screen, I cannot see the date.
No, I can't either.
But there's sometime in the past, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I should look at my.
Yeah.
Well, no worries. Do you guys remember how it looks like, at least? So you guys can draw it out? Yeah.
It's one. It's in the post. It's in the practice discussion.
Next time I'm gonna write it down.
Day
the
2.
very top one. Yeah, day 2 with
Day 2. The second one. Yes, that's the one. Yeah, there's a video there.
All right. So
a little bit further. I think that's about 2 minutes 45 seconds. 2:45.
Yep.
There,
yeah, right there. I think that's the range we were talking about, right? So I think Casey and I, we both think that point, it is kind of like to my point, I think it's a B type kind of trap, and the price should release from there. I think both Casey and I, we were saying, yeah, we think that's a trap, but should we take action upon that point, because we can see the overall trend is going up. So is it risky to take action over there, or yeah?
So the question, if price comes down, should we try to do some kind of buy? Is that?
No, actually, yeah, I don't know the questions from Laila or Casey. My question would be, should we sell from that from the top? We can see where your mouse is. There's the little hand, the yellow circle there. That's basically the release area. I'd say the little range there. Yeah. So that's my question. I don't know, Laila, your question or Casey's question.
There was 2 questions there, really. That question, yeah, we discussed that also. We talked about, this should be a counter trend, but
right, that's true.
The move was good, and I thought, okay, to the release point, to where the buyer should should react, I thought that we could take a little sell from level to level from that little range. Yes.
Yeah.
Down. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the discussions.
Because the
Yes.
whole move is in an uptrend, and this is the end.
Yeah. And then I'm seeing this all range that took so long. Maybe it's time for it to retrace, to go up again, like refreshing before going up and refreshing to the release point, where I think is a release point, where I had this, where I marked this little bit more down there. Yes. Because that I had a question about that also. That point, is it a release point? Because no buyer is taken out, and you're saying always, Lucas, that a buyer should be taken out. But I'm seeing here that the seller tried for a long time and the buyer didn't take it out. The buyer didn't take out the seller in immediately. It took a whole day to do it.
Yeah.
So is it valid? Is it a valid release point or not? Can you count it as a trap?
Okay. Yeah, this one here is a little bit tricky. The reason why I'm able to identify where is it exactly is because I actually traded this one. So
Yeah.
it's a good one, but there is some risk involved here. But let's run through everything from left to right. So this piece, it's a range. Yes, I guess it is a little bit over 24 hours. So there's no trap, right? There's no trap, but you would expect some kind of a release in the future. So whether it pulls back here, if it does pull back there, then it would be, still continuing with the uptrend. That would be good. But here, when it reached this point, from this point, when it come back all the way down towards that area again, then that's the point where you gotta ask yourself, this is a huge downtrend coming down. Okay, the size of it, the size of the candle, the size of the swings, it's all huge. How strong are these guys going to be to, give me a reaction? I know in this case, the reaction was pretty huge. Maybe there was a level on the left, but just based on this alone here, there's going to be a reaction, but, try not to jump ahead and think that I want to get my buys in around here. So that's what I'm trying to say. Unless this entire thing pulls back towards the downside, okay, that there could be some reaction because of this small range, but you also know, you're also thinking it's a huge downtrend coming down. I'm not sure if that small release zone range is going to do anything. So wait and see what happens, and then see if your last guy is around here. Let's say if he's taken out completely, then on the pullback, okay, maybe you can try, what's this? This is a C kind of thing, right? Then around there, you can try to buy there.
Okay.
Right. So
Yeah.
Could you take it like a bounce only to only SNR or something because it is a level?
from here,
Yeah.
you potentially can. But the same thing I have, the same concern I have is this is a strong down move.
Yeah.
If this was a little bit bigger, or if there's something on the left, then maybe I can trust this release zone. But because it's so small as compared to this piece, then I'm not sure if I want to trust the bounce.
So you'd be more apt to taking a quicker release off of that soon after the break of that range, like you drew earlier. That would be.
Yeah. If it's around here, then it starts pulling back, or even here when it starts pulling back, then it should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the time also is an element as well, because from when the range forming till it came to that same level, it took like 1 month or something. It's quite a long time, and we are not quite sure if those people are still around or they cashed out somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this part here goes a little bit into time frame,
Right.
which is really important because we know it's going to react, but not all trades we want to jump ahead and try to take the trade. So in this case, if because we are trading on a 60-minute, we're just looking at the downtrend here, right? So we're not really looking at this piece because it's a huge trend. For now, just focus on the most recent few swings. And in this case, it is pretty much in the seller's territory. And then here, that's where you say sales are coming down. If we kill him, perhaps there could be a release from here.
Right.
But at least now you guys know why price stopped here.
Yeah.
Because of this.
Yeah.
I'll come back to this in a bit, but just want to show you guys. So like this pair. Okay. Okay. This one here, overall downtrend, right? Now,
Yeah.
price reacted off this zone here. Okay. For us to do a buy, it's pretty much very, very counter trend, right? Because the whole thing is going down. Last guy could be here. Let me use my annotation. Last guy could be here or here. Did he take him out? I'm not sure, but all of this is just ranging. For us to do a buy, it's a huge counter trend. So the reason why price reacted from this zone, again, is because there's higher time frame level involved around that kind of area.
It's a huge range.
Yeah, it's a huge range, but that also doesn't really mean that we want to try and take the buys around here. It's sort of like this is my trading time frame now, right? This is my trading time frame, and then my precision time frame would be the 60-minute. So the time frame involved is not in sync anymore with what we're trying to do, which is using this kind of look on our 60 and then trading it on the 5.
Okay, yeah, for me, I know, and maybe for others, that's been it. Time frames has always been kind of a issue. It's getting a lot better, especially sticking to the 1 hour now. How we're learning on this, but when you trying to remember, when you go to like you just did, remember, okay, now I got to look at this as this would be my trading time frame if I were to try to take a trade off of that level. That's just, for me, that's always been kind of a little thing, a little trouble for me. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. In the future, we are gonna look into how we can correctly identify, what time frame it belongs to. But for now, the quickest hack that I can tell you is if prices are coming down like that, okay, let's just say you saw that there's a huge level on the daily time frame, which is the bottom white line. Let's say here, right? You do not really want to do anything about this. All you want to do is just mark out where your last guy is. So in this case, your last guy on the 60-minute would just be here, right? So you wouldn't really try and anticipate anything because, again, you're trading a trend pullback, and your big boy time frame is the 60-minute. So for the trend pullback to work, you gotta make sure an uptrend has been confirmed, which means hitting this guy and then think about the buys afterwards.
Okay.
I think that's easier for you to stick to just one time frame. Just looking at the 60-minute and see where the last guy is.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's super important to stick to that. Know your time frame, as Naveen always talks about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I attended a webinar from Naveen yesterday for ITP, and he talked about somewhere along the line we need to learn where the trade belongs to, basically which time frame owns the trade.
Yeah. That's correct.
That would be very helpful.
Yeah.
So watch that one.
Yeah, for now, just focus on last guy, and then when he got killed, it could work. In this case, it didn't work, but again, we're gonna go into why sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Like I mentioned yesterday, the one thing you guys need to really pay attention to is if I'm trading a trend pullback, this overall is still a downtrend. Even though I have a kill of this guy, it's not so much confirmed yet because, again, we're trying to turn this entire thing around. Right? So that brings me back to what we were talking about just now, which is this one here. Yeah, again, we're going to come back to this maybe in the future, but there is risk involved trying to sell this piece. But based on what you guys have learned so far, this is, where's my last guy? Maybe here, sort of, that guy. And
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, it's a pretty straightforward one. This guy still challenges him, right? Still doing his buy, resolve down. Yeah, you'll read what happened here.
Yeah, I noticed quite a few of these in some of my PAs. Like I just was finding these that the overall trend was, say, up, and then the first trap was for the opposite party, and they didn't work out too well. They didn't all work out as well as this one. It seemed the ones I saw yesterday.
Yeah. Not all trades will work out like this, right? Especially when you're counter trending.
Okay.
So yeah, my suggestion would be take notes of those kind of counter trend trades, and try and learn something from those trades and see the differences. If you can spot them, then if you can't, that's fine as well, because we're gonna go over how to trade these kinds safely. Because yesterday there were a lot of pairs. Not this one. So yesterday we had a lot of stuff like this as well, right?
Yeah.
Right. Range, breaks, right? We would expect some kind of a push down. So in this case, it didn't work. Yeah, maybe for the weekend, try and figure out why that is. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think you guys have a fair idea of what's a trap, at least. Right. Any other questions from the practice? No. Yeah, go ahead.
Can we look on Aussie CAD? I'm interested in the last guy who started it.
But Team B, you guys have any?
Sorry. Yeah.
No? Okay, last one before we go into a little bit more of today's lesson. Yep, what do you see on Aussie CAD?
Yeah, on Aussie CAD, looking from here, this is the guy who started it. This is another guy who started it down. Can we consider this the guy who started it or not?
No, I wouldn't say so.
I remember this one also. Yeah, and this one I had a question on is where did this guy end? Because did he actually end here or here because he holds and then makes a new low? Or is it just this guy? This was one also I remember yesterday. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so I would say it would be this guy.
Okay.
It's low, stops here, no lower lows, and then here it gets a little bit tricky. The overall swing does suggest that it could be him right here. Push down, and then no real lower lows here. So I would be more inclined to say that he is the last guy.
Okay. And then if this were to eventually, it bounced once, is bouncing, if it were to possibly break out this way, those guys would be trapped and there would be a release in this area. Or a buy, is that seem like a valid?
Yeah, that could be the case for this buy to work. But just looking at this right now, we have a sort of similar issue here where it's trying to turn the entire thing.
Downtrend.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Unless on the left, we are coming from a bigger uptrend. Yeah, I guess maybe it could still work. Because overall, we're still going up fairly strongly.
Okay.
Right. The other thing is this thing is forming a huge range. Yep. Ian, was that all of your question?
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Lost my train of thoughts. Let's go back to this one here. Now, this pair is a good one for us to look into. Now, overall uptrend, right?
Yeah.
We mark our guy here, push up, kill, right? Pulls back, ideally, just based on the theory we have learned so far, should react, right? It did react. This thing push all the way back up, like that. Anyone who's sold around this zone here might be trapped. Just might be. The reason why I say might be trapped without using the volume for now is because, just think about it, like people selling from here, this thing resolves towards the upside with this kind of power. Anyone who wants to get out here would get out here, right? And then if this is the last guy, resolve back up, now you have a huge release zone to work with.
Yeah.
Last attempt, last guy.
Yeah.
Ideally, it should go.
Yeah.
Then now the next question is, this is a valid trade based on traps and releases, but why is it not the most lucrative one to try and take Team B? What do you guys think,
Hey.
Ross?
Up to the left. Shift up the go. No, there's that. It's not coming up to highs, so might be a problem.
Yeah, that's partially right. That's partially what I'm thinking about. What do you think, Satyawan? Theoretically, it should be a good buy, but why is it not the best one? Maya saying late buys. Yeah, yeah. So based on theory, it's correct, but just based on how it looks from left to right, it's very, very late. Okay, super late into the buys. Later on, by the end of the week, you guys will be able to understand how to pick up buys here. Right? So it's a constant thing where we have to juggle between understanding what's right and wrong and understanding if the theory agrees. Here, the theory sort of agrees for the buy to perform, but then just understanding that we are in a huge overextended uptrend. Okay, that's good. All right, before we move on to volumes for today, let's just do a quick practice round for Team B. All right, you guys have any other pairs you guys want me to look at? Okay. Let's start with
Lucas, I do have some pairs, but I understand today is Team B's priority. I probably save that for at the end, towards the end, if you have time. Can I bring them up again?
Yeah, sure. If we have time towards the end.
Yeah.
Okay. Satyavan, let's try and do this. Mark out the way you see the cells are coming down, and then where a trap form, where a release would happen, that kind of thing.
So the cells comes from there,
Yep.
this one,
Right.
and here another one,
Hmm.
and
What happens after that? Read each piece. You have a better idea.
so this one go down again, and it just move up,
Okay.
and it form a range,
Okay.
and this one the bias strike from here,
Okay.
and another try here, and this one skills it,
All right.
and we can try it here maybe.
This one. Which one is your last guy who started on the sell side?
This one.
All right, this one. Okay. When he pushed down, what happens after that? Pulls back.
Push back.
Okay. Here, what happened? This piece
It got taken out.
got taken out.
Yes.
So he's taken out, he's killed. Just based on the fact that someone's taken out, you automatically have a trap form, right?
Yeah.
So where would be the area where cells last attempted before they got killed?
Here.
This is the guy who started,
Yeah.
right?
This one kills it, right?
This one kills the guy, yep. It's the kill. Before the kill happens, where were the last few pushes towards the cell side?
Here.
All right, here. Where else?
And here.
And there, right?
Yeah.
So this area is the last attempt. If let's say you and me try and sell this, our stops are all the way up there. Let's just say we're not stopped out, but we know the cells are not looking so good anymore, right?
Yeah.
So where would we hope price would come back to in order for us to get out? with as little loss as possible
Around here.
around here.
Yeah.
So this area here becomes your release.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. That makes sense.
Yeah. So this area here would give you some type of reaction.
Okay.
Yeah. So here, you do not want to sell this just of yet. Yeah, we'll get into why that is, but just for the sell and the buys coming up, this is your release.
Okay.
Right? Any questions for this one? So you have to read the guy, how he goes down before jumping ahead, looking at this, look at where the last attempts were. When he got killed, you know here, if you and me were selling this piece, we want to get out at the same area at break even. Yeah?
Okay.
All right. All right. Ross.
So-
Yep.
Sorry, I have a question on this pair, Lucas.
Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So for this one, if we look at that was the last seller, right? So this buyer blow him up, and the reason why there's a reaction from that zone from there, is it because some that seller maybe had tried over there?
Maybe could be a reason as well. If we are looking at this as some type of complete reversal, like a V kind of thing, then yeah, I guess that potentially could be your C type.
Actually that was one of the questions I was going to ask. I was looking at I also I didn't post up in the practice yesterday, but I was looking at this pair and I was a little bit confused on this one. So this level or that level we can see it obviously. So does that mean if we can still see this on this trading, on this 1 hour time frame, that means this one is stronger than the other one?
This is stronger than this one.
Yes.
Not really.
All right.
The best case scenario is if this piece here, okay, looks like that, goes down, goes back up. Based on the fact that this is a range with multiple swings, multiple people getting trapped in those areas,
right?
And I would be more than inclined to say, I'm sure that there's someone selling up, selling here. So this thing may not pull back to here. But just because this is pretty small, I would just use SNRs, that kind of thing as for a release.
Right. Yeah.
If anyone is thinking why price could come and react from there, sure, that wouldn't be wrong to say. It's
You think it's a probe?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't it like because the push was so strong, so people would want to jump into the buys a little bit earlier, so the upper SNR or something also?
That could be a reason why, based on how strong this is. But yeah, I wouldn't put too much attention on the strength and then saying that because of how strong it is, it's gonna hold up here. But it's a good logic to use also, but try not to put too much attention on that.
Maybe it depends on how the seller is coming down. If it's coming down very strongly, then it's gonna go down to the lower release. Or maybe if it comes like this, it's gonna try to use the first SMR, then go down again, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. We're gonna use our trading time frame, the 5, to gauge the pullback to see if this would be a valid entry or a valid buy, safe buy, or here.
Right.
So we still have to consider the overall flow as well, right?
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something else for this one, because this also is in a huge downtrend.
Yeah.
But if we ignore momentum, strength, that kind of thing, this would be the best type of C type,
Right.
just based on logic. So I keep emphasizing logic here because you gotta think, like, if this is a huge range, people are bound to sell here. So even if this piece comes down hard, right, hard and strong, it might still push from there.
Right. Right.
We can only understand this or this based on what happened on the left.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So for this pair at this moment, if we are looking at the buyers or sellers territory, just this time frame, we know this was last seller and he got killed by this by those buyers. So does that mean at the moment we are in this time frame, we are in buyers territory temporarily? This was our last buyer, and at the moment he's still intact because it's got challenged, but the price still in the buyer zone. Therefore, it's still risky to sell at this moment. Yeah, it's risky to sell just because of this kill. It's risky to buy without looking at too much data because we're huge downtrend. Yeah. So along our course, are we going to learn? Because in one of Navin's one-on-one videos, I saw he also uses things like to kill a buyer or seller. We need to see them struggling. For example, at this moment, this buyer, although it's in buyer's territory, but he's struggling at the moment. So if there's a blow up to here, that means we confirmed now sellers here. Yeah, we're gonna go into all that kind of stuff. Great, thank you. Yeah.
Also, can we consider these as since we are overall a downtrend and we need more buyers? So this one, like other people see these as just to attract more buyers so that we can continue to sell. Is that possible?
Here, you're talking about this piece?
No, this one. Awesome. So this so this buyer that goes up, can we consider it like just attract more buyers so that we can continue because there's no more, like before we sell, we need buyers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this one can bring in more buyers so that we can continue the sale.
Not necessarily, because here, before going into the Unicorn program, we would all, like me before even learning from Navin, when I see moves like this, pull back, most people would try and buy anyway. So there is for sure buyers involved.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, if it does go up higher, that would be a little bit better, but doesn't really matter that much in this case. It's good enough just based on how far you travel. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Ross, so this is the last guy, right?
Yeah.
got killed, expecting to get a release from here
Right.
or here, right? So Ross, let me ask you this. In order for us to have a safe setup for a sell, what needs to happen?
Obviously, you're trying to sell it as high as possible.
That's one, yep.
And but if it goes up too high, then maybe confidence that it's going to continue to sell. Well, you've got the overall trend is we're saying is down. But if it goes more alarmingly high, then you might question that. To know that I'm answering the question, I wouldn't want to see it any higher than that. Where's annotate? Was it still on? No. Wouldn't want to see it probably if price was to rise higher than this. I'd maybe question whether it's still a sell.
Yeah. So at this stage, right? At this stage, this is a release, right?
Yep.
Okay. Where is your buyer guy who started?
From the release, it's the this last leg, and the guy who's started
For the buy side.
buy side. It'll be down. Oh, you can't see my house. I would have said that.
Oh, this is just a release.
I just released.
Yeah. So from this guy, last guy who started the sell side here,
Yep.
he got killed here, right?
Right, and then killed, and then we've got our guy started, comes down, and then releases.
Yeah. So when he got killed here,
Yep.
who was the guy who was responsible for the kill, changing the downtrend?
Oh, right. So down here.
Yeah, right. Okay. So now you have your buyer's guy who started. So
Yep.
for you to do a sell, what would you want to see for you to do the sell?
Right. So we want to kill the buyer
Yep.
and then react and then down.
So kill the buyer.
Yep.
If price comes all the way down one swing like that without any stopping,
And then we
where would your release be? If price just comes down like that.
all right. Then it would be this one here.
Right around there, right? So one could argue that it could be here because this looks a bit small, but it's this zone, right?
All right.
And then you get your trade there. Okay, remember the so far what we have learned so far is for us to take a trade, we need our big boy time frame, which is the 60-minute, to give us a level. So for us to have a level, we gotta make sure someone's trapped, and we gotta make sure someone's ready to release. So in order for a release to happen, he has to be killed, and then where the last attempt is, around here.
Right. Okay.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Any questions so far? Team B, feel free to let me know. All right. right, same thing for this one, pretty similar. Laila, why don't you go ahead and read the cell and maybe try and read what the buyers and sellers are thinking each point of the way. Let's start from here.
I'm gonna try to annotate for the first time here.
Yeah.
Okay. This seller, let's see. Yeah, good. This seller took out, it made a break from this range, got down, and there's the last buyer, so it went up to there. And this is still the seller, so the release point is here, so it went down. And this would be the last seller. And then we have this try from the buyer. This is the last, this is the seller who made the last down. And this is the last one who made, this is the last attempt, yes. From here, we have this push up. The buyer kills the last attempt, the last seller here.
Yep.
And then this is the last seller. So this would be the place where the release is. So from, let's see, from this point, it has killed this also. From this point, this is going, the seller is going to try to come down to the release point to let go of its of the position. And from here, also, this is an SNR, so for the buyer to try to go up.
Great, that's very good. Okay, so here as well, it was interesting, right? Because we know it's a huge range. Once it resolves down, someone's bound to be trapped. But in this case, we pull back extremely deep, all the way back into this final little guy here, right? Which release. Okay, again, we have the same kind of scenario here where if we're trying to do the buys, it's a huge counter trend. So there's a lot more work to actually try and study how we can trade the buys. But for now, potentially there could be a bounce off here. If the bounce fail, okay, maybe taking out this guy, then this trade would be the no-brainer kind of trade. So same thing here. If it's a huge extended downtrend, would we really want to sell all the way down there? But so far, yep, that's good. Release. These were the last attempts. Correctly identify the last guy who started. It's good. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Okay. Casey, let me ask you this. If we're looking at this guy, all right, goes down, got a kill. Is this a type of release we would be trying to take?
Am I looking at the overall? If I'm looking at the overall picture that I see in front of me, I don't know that I would, just because it's not in any type of trend. It's just a huge range.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of referring to if there's no trend, no trade.
Yep. It's good. No trend, no trade. Yeah, that should be a new model for us. So try not taking these kind of trades because it's very difficult to know who's in control. If we read the story from left to right, from here, okay, this is one guy. Yeah, it's tough, right? Pushed up all the way down. Okay, huge range. That's one thing. Okay, if you try to do the buys here, and if it fails to launch still, nothing inside here would be safe to attempt. It's going to be difficult to understand who's actually in control. Yep. No trend, no trade. All right, let's see what we have here. Okay. All right, Casey. This one would be this uptrend. Okay, the whole goal is try and resume and join the buys at some stage from here to here. Okay, can you try and read the buys going up, where the sells come down, and where a potential trap and release might work for us?
Okay. Options. Okay. All right. So starting from here, push up, small pullback. Break this area for a higher high. Another small pullback. Push up for another higher high.
Yep.
The guy who started.
Yep.
We get to that high, small pullback, push up for another higher high, but it comes right back in. So is that really a higher high? He does hold. Okay, he does hold. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So that would be, so guy who started, we pull back to the guy who started, try to push up, but take out the guy who started, so he's dead. Which now this would be my guy who started.
Yeah.
We range here for a little while, and then we break down below. New guy who started. Get to this low from this guy. Small pullback, and then we actually make the lower low. Hold. There's quite a few candles here, so I think that could be a valid hold. So
Sure.
possibly this would be my last guy who started now. And then we pull back and test him. He tries. Seems like he gets taken out, but he tries again. Seems like he gets taken out, but tries again. And then here he gets taken out and holds above. So I'd say that this guy is officially dead at this point. So the buys should technically be on, and these are all trapped. The only thing that messes with me is how he was taken out. It wasn't a significant huge move, but he is taken out.
Yeah.
So would this area would be a good release because of the overall uptrend. I think that this would be a good area to take a buy.
Yeah, that's right. The concern you have is very much valid here, because the way that it got up, it's not like one huge breach and then steady pullback for us to do the buys. So it's just meandering around that kind of zone, pull back deeper. There is going to be a release point here, but just because of how it breached towards the upside, it's difficult to know where we can get in. But the overall idea is right. All right, this guy got killed somewhere around this zone here. Your release should happen here.
Okay. And is it too early to say, do we just take it to the recent highs, or is that something we'll talk about later?
Correct.
If we were to take a trade here.
Okay, so if we were taking a buy around here, assuming that all this is correct, the next thing you always want to ask yourself is what's ahead of you. So in this case, we have a recent high, right? Earlier you were saying this is the last guy, he got killed, right?
Trap.
Yeah, so there's a potential release for them as well.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, from release to release, level to level.
Yeah, so
Perfect.
here, this is a little bit interesting because now this is the part where if you guys heard of the concept landmines in 4CP, yeah,
Mhm.
Yes.
it almost
Yeah, we
feels
tested it.
yeah, it almost feels like tried. Okay, at this stage, it's a money spot, right? When you do the buy, you're assuming that they have tried from this kind of release and they're not going anywhere. Hence, it
Awesome.
should punch through.
Okay.
Mm. Yeah.
So, your last guy is here. All right, pretty much a huge range. Got destroyed. If let's just say we have our zone around this area here. We wouldn't want to try to do the buys here. Not just because we're not sure where the pullback might end, because we might just assume that, okay, this all here may be the last attempt, so they might just react from this zone. That's one assumption. The
So
other,
that's something that I could see. Okay, yeah, we broke this guy. Here's our zone to take a buy from. Yeah, I could see
yeah.
trying to do that.
But the thing here is, remember yesterday I was saying something about space.
Mm.
Here you don't.
Yeah, it's too close.
Yeah, you don't have much space to work with. On the 5 minute, we still have to gauge momentum, get in. By the time we get in on our buys, we may just be here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm.
too close.
Perfect.
So at this stage, we would just we might just assume that the buys are gone. They're just gonna launch towards the upside. But if it does pull back slow and steady again, then maybe we can pick up a buy.
That give me a better price kind of motto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So always see what's above you and below you, that kind of thing. But again, like we talked about earlier, overall uptrend, you see a transition going on here. It should be able to punch through. Yeah. Does that make sense for you, Casey? But overall, the read was really good.
Okay. Yeah, and you said right there at the end about it should be able to punch through. So if we were to attempt to trade on here, thinking, okay, this overall uptrend, we've already rolled over, killed the guy who started. Would we be at? I mean, yes, our level is super close. Our landmine is right there above us. Would that be a valid kind of, or if we were to take it, would that be like, hey, that was just way too close? Or we had the concept of all the stuff behind us going up, rolling over. Would that be a valid minus that short open area? I guess.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. The concept is telling you, okay, now the concept is telling you this is the low of this pullback, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, now in the middle.
After you got killed. That's the concept giving you the confirmation. Then the next thing you want to think about is your execution. So that's pure trading part, right? This is just a theory to know who's in control and if you're safe or not to do the buys. You're safe to do the buys, but where you execute the buys is really important. So I wouldn't say it's based on theory, it's a good trade, but you really want to have space.
Gotcha. And then I've done this in the past a lot where I was looking at my area where if your space is here and the bottom is here, or actually your space is here because your other trap, you want to be closer to these, I guess, extremes. So you're not trading in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I've always ended up trading in the middle and then noticed it afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Lucas.
So, Lucas, just the other thing is this sort of helps well, narrowing down so that the range is getting smaller and smaller as it rises. Now, maybe it can punch through above that. Would that be a concern that the size of the bars are reducing and therefore I don't know, maybe the momentum's going away?
To go up, to punch
To
up.
go up, yep.
I've never looked into that too much, so I can't really give you a good answer on that. Yeah,
All
but
right.
I understand what you mean, like squeezing, like kind of a flag. and
Yeah,
punch.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have a similar question to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
If it pulls in deeper, wouldn't there be a level above us now because this last guy would get taken out?
Good question.
Huh.
Now, that's something else you need to always consider because what am I trying to say here? Overall, this could be an uptrend, your last guy, and then sort of hold here, and then last guy, like that, right? So when you do the buys here, it's mixing in a lot of different time frame, if that makes sense. Because at one point you're looking at one big swing, thinking that the buys are back, and then at another stage you're looking at the small swings. So I think to answer your question, yes, you would be worried about this area here, potentially doing this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good question. We're gonna use volume to understand when can we actually try and do this. So in the ideal world, this would be what we want to look for. Last guy, right? Last guy who started, punch through. Okay, might react from this zone here. You have a lot of space, then you do the buys. I'm not sure if you guys heard the term primary or secondary, that kind of thing before, but basically, yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Yeah.
So this one, for primary, secondary, so that is that secondary already, right? So that's primary, is it?
I would say so. But yeah, we're gonna come back to this.
Sure.
All right, could you explain the primary and secondary terms, please?
Yeah,
More or less,
we're gonna go over that in the next few days.
All right. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. All right. It's a good one, this one. Let's see. Let's do one more example, maybe. See what we have. USD yen. No. So, okay. Dennis? For this one, yeah, try and read the guy who started, who's in control, traps, release, everything from here.
This is the pattern, and this is the second one. This is I say nothing. I think under this part,
Yep.
didn't make a high. Finally, kill here.
Okay.
Return to seller. Buy, and for me, I feel the seller should be here.
So if these are the buyers, where are their attempts for the buy side?
I will say the last one is this one. Or maybe the whole this, I can say.
Okay, so you're saying last one could be this here. Yeah, I wouldn't say you're wrong to consider. That was the last attempt. Okay, so in this case, what happens next? So cells are in control, they should try and release. What happens after that?
The last attempt should be around maybe, I think this is like this.
Okay, they should release here, right?
So I think like this is like the B time.
I can't really hear you. Your audio is a bit low.
The B time.
All right, release.
So
Okay.
this is really
Okay, so then we get a kill of this cell, right?
Yeah.
So if these were the last seller's attempt, is this a trap?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. So this is a potential area for us to look for buy. Okay. Now, what's the? Let me ask you this. What's the difference between trying to buy this versus trying to buy this? If this is all just one guy who started.
This one, I don't think.
I can't hear you. I think in Zoom, you can go to more and then look for how do you do this? Oh yeah, under your audio, the mic, you can choose your audio settings. And on the audio part, you can adjust your volume there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you a tutorial later on.
Yeah, sure.
Then it's just in the chat. Then it's just said he didn't see any trap to the left for the first one.
Okay, that's good. So here you don't really see any traps on the left, right? So if there's no trap here, there's no level form. This buy is just not so good, right? It's a little bit towards the risky side. But this level here, this has a reason behind why it should work, because from the left, someone tried to sell before, or here. Hence, although it looks like it's sort of like a continuation buy going up, you know, even from here to, from this piece coming down to here, even though it doesn't look like there's any sellers, there is, because here there were sellers trying to sell from this trap. Hence, this buy becomes safer. But here, not really, because all of this is just one buyer, all just one pullback without forming any kind of trap, right? So in the future, when we come back towards the same area again, we're not sure if this is going to release because is this a trap? We're not sure because it's just cells coming down, all belongs to the main buyer. Do you guys see the difference between A and B? Yeah, Dennis, I think you clearly understand what I mean by this and this, right? Yeah. All right. So, traps can form in a lot of different ways. We just have to read everything very, very slowly. Okay, questions? Any questions so far? 1 second, let me just grab something here. Sorry, I'm turning on the AC. It's really hot here. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So once we killed the last guy from this one, so which one is it, the old thing or this guy?
The last attempts?
Yeah, the last guy that started this one. So was it the old flow or just this guy that started?
I think it's the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the last attempt could be this one or this one?
At this stage, right here, I would be inclined to say these are my last attempts. This one here.
Okay.
The reason why I would be inclined to say that is because this can be viewed as a bigger range as well, and price may just react off low end of the range. So
okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So also when this one goes up to kill these, so the last attempt could be this one as well.
Yeah, it could be those guys. But the thing is, I also see a very clear support resistance here. Although it's not really a new buyer, the last buyer was here. This might become a channel, I don't know, right? So I would also think that perhaps the cells may still try all of these tries.
That's why it forms the range, right?
Yeah. So after they got convincingly killed, okay, now you get your trade. Yeah. So it's not always as simple as just looking at this as a huge range and trying to buy it like that. That's fine. But now you guys know the logic behind what happened from here to here to here.
Yeah. And Lucas, would this be since the sellers attempted here, so obviously this was still a seller that took out this first guy who started, and these were sell attempts, would it be logical to say that this is actually our first push for the buyer, so like your first leg, I guess, and then this would be a really good buy over here because this is a fresh push from a buyer?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's like a refresh kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So sometimes you'll see cells coming down, like the USD cap we had just now, right? It pushed up, and then you get your buys after having a trap to buy here, that kind of thing. In this case, although the pattern looks different, but the idea is the same. Here, we are fading sellers to do the buys, right? Here is the same thing. Although the pattern looks different, we're still fading the sells to do the buys.
it just did it a little quicker.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Would this mean, in terms of the leg counting, I'm not quite sure if that's important or not, because sometimes I do struggle. Where is actually, for example, in this case, where is actually the leg one started? Is it from down here? So that's leg one, and now we are sort of buying leg two.
Yeah, I would say so.
Right.
Yeah, but for now, try not put too much attention on that. Just know,
Yeah.
just know that this is supposed to launch,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't do this kind of thing. It should go,
Right.
or just from your go through. Yeah.
Okay. So if it doesn't go, that means something wrong. We need to exit.
Yeah. So the idea of the leg counting part is important because see, I'm always trying to emphasize why something is important, why Naveen says what he says. So
Yeah.
this push that goes up, the leg counting is important because we do not want to try. Okay, this is fine. This is absolutely fine. We do not want to try this one here because the idea is,
Right.
the idea is this guy is trapped. Overall uptrend, like
Yeah.
KT said, it was a huge refresh. This thing ideally should just go. It shouldn't do this and do this. So
Right.
the point of leg counting is not doing stuff like this.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Right. Right. So actually, the leg counting started when we release from the trap. We kind of like count leg one and hold 2 legs, and then after that, if that's the third leg, like you draw here, that's not good. So we should consider exit or doing something, remove some money.
Yeah. And then most importantly, if you're not in, don't try and get in.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, Team B, any other questions? Yon, go ahead.
Here at this example, where would be the TP? So if we consider this a trap, the release point, the TP is the first one is the first higher high, and then another level on the higher time frame, or
we would just want to get out of the recent highs.
okay, so we consider the stop loss below the trap, the entering point somewhere here.
That's
and
good.
The TP here.
That's good. Stop loss, we're gonna go into it when we're on our trading time frame. But if we are trading this, ideally our stop loss won't really be here. It will be much tighter.
Okay.
Wow.
This is the fine print we learn.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
Exciting. That means really high risk reward.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
Can we also look this as a lopsided V? I understand the trap, everything. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, it all revolves around the same theory, I'd say. So concept 2, reformation, gauging momentum, and it's all the same thing.
So if this was like a money spot trade, would you still expect that blast, or you would expect the struggle and still be willing to take it up to that point?
Why are you saying it's a money spot trade?
No, I'm just, if this was a money spot trade, would we expect the blast or the struggle up to that area we would kind of expect it, so we'll still take it to the top.
Okay, let me try and imagine this. So let's say this is a cell, this is a cell. We're talking about this piece here where it's in a money spot. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and there's space and you're willing to take the buy still.
Okay. It depends. It depends on how big this is. Generally, we are trading only the 65. So let's say when you get in on your 5 minute, this distance to this distance, just the recent high, let's say, for example, this one here, if it's big enough, let's say at least types of trades like this generally would be at least 2 Rs. So if there's at least 2 R, I wouldn't take it any further because it might just be for a much higher time frame where it might stall a little bit more because it's a money spot, like you said, and then resume the uptrend. So I think it has to depend on the size of the setup.
Okay.
I don't think I answered that question well enough.
No, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you see any examples, just bring it up on the charts. We'll have a look at it.
Yep.
Yeah. Shall we look at one more? Yeah, let's look at one more. What do I have? Yeah, okay. Let's say for this one, Jay, let's just pretend that I think it is actually, well, not really. Let's just pretend it's in an overall uptrend, right? Overall uptrend. Where's your last buyer? Probably around here, right? He got killed. Okay, let's pretend again that this is actually a new low, new breach towards the downside. And then let's say that breach got completely reversed. Okay, this is a money spot, right? Because he still wants to release. But at the same time, you have a new guy who started form. So this buy here, I would just get out here.
All right.
Yeah.
So even if the struggle is really bad, you wouldn't scratch, you would just take it up to that high and that's it?
Yeah. Just because I know someone is going to try and sell this. So until we kill this guy, all right, now it's for sure on because no one's ahead of me anymore.
Got it.
Right.
One thing I haven't mentioned before is when the way that the guys are trading in the prop is we always take it from one level to the next and not holding trades too far. So for example, here to here, then try here to here.
Would you take?
Yeah.
Would you take it on your from level to level on the 5 or on the 1 hour on the big boy?
Usually on the 60 minute. So I will identify this as a level, this swing high here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just get out there.
Okay. And your stop would be on the 5 or on the 1 hour?
On the 5. The
On the
5.
5.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, this looks a little bit easier, I would say. Satyawan, try and read the cells coming down and where a trap forms.
Okay, so this one, it comes down,
Yep.
lower low.
Yep.
And comes up again.
Mm. Yep. What happens after that?
So it's a range
Yep.
and start going down again.
Okay. This piece going down. Is there a new guy here? Or maybe he's here?
This one here, you're gone, maybe.
Maybe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. Let's just say maybe he's a new guy.
Okay. So this one doesn't kill the, and it continues down.
Yeah.
And this one kills it.
Yep. Okay. When this happens, do you have if this is a guy and he got killed, you have a trap, right?
Yes.
Okay, so after knowing you have a trap, then the next question you want to ask is
This one is the
last attempts.
last attempts.
Yeah.
And this is maybe the release.
Yeah. That would be the release.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. It's good. So going back to what we were just talking about just now. Okay, maybe not yet. Ross, read this, try and read this, push towards the upside, and where potentially would be the safest sell we can take.
So perhaps I'm starting, started rising up, and we've got this one rises above, and then not too sure whether I've missed one. Yeah,
Maybe, yeah, I guess so.
and then rising up, and then we've killed this guy. So all right, so then
So we sort of spike that area, right?
so the safest way to sell would be
Hold on. Read this
Yeah.
piece.
all right.
So it continues to
Is
go.
that all right? So it's just got killed, and I'm getting lost.
Okay, I know what you're
Rising.
if this was actually a kill or not. Now we are gonna
All right, yeah.
because it's so small and so tiny, it's hard to say it's actually a real kill. So at this point, you would just assume that buyers are still in control.
Right.
Yeah.
And so this one's still in control. This guy started, rises above, comes back, and then this rises again, but no high. Then we've still got this guy, so then the price comes down, rises up.
You gotta annotate. I can't see your drawing.
Oh, so you can't. Right. So it rises up and back, rise up,
Yeah.
down. We're still in the buy zone, up, and here we're really not taking it out. The rise up.
You can't see your drawing.
Oh, you
Yep.
can't.
Yeah, you gotta release.
I got to release. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Okay.
And then price comes down, and this comes down and gets killed.
Yep. Okay, once you get a kill, you automatically have a trap. Where would the release be? Where are the last few attempts?
Be up. This, oh no, this one here I would have thought.
Yep. Here, here, here. Right.
And then from there, must continue down and then risen up to the release point.
Yep.
And then knocked away.
Yep. It's good.
And then
Now, is that all clear for you? How to identify the right area to look for the safest cell?
Yes.
All right. Now, this goes back to the thing we were just talking about just now about the lakes. I don't really want to go into this too much, but let's just say we have a release here. At this stage, you also want to look at what happened from before. From before, we are already very late into the cell. Okay, obviously we have a cell coming down from there. We have a cell move coming down from here. Another move coming down from there. So this piece ideally should make lower lows. It should not do this. So this part here is where why Naveen says you want to focus on the legs and not getting in on the third leg, fourth leg, fifth leg kind of thing. But for now, just know that this is a cell we want to take. But here, for whatever reason, let's say we consider that there's a trap here, this is not something we want to do. Yeah?
Yep.
Again, we always have the same kind of things going on here. When this buy came in as a full reversal, where did we stop? We stopped at the last few attempts. All right. Yesterday we were talking about some kind of a V formation, inviting more buyers trying. Trades usually stops around those kind of area. Again, money spot here. All right. If this guy was the last guy who sold, he got killed. But at the same time, there's a trap here. And we're not sure what kind of a trending state we are in. So in cases like this, Jay, you were asking, yeah, just try and get out here. Yep, makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone have any other questions? Team B, all good for you guys? Casey, Ross, Dennis, Tiawan, Laila?
I guess what you mean is the fast release is the best. Then you try not to take releases after that, depending on the distance to the others, where reaction areas.
So you're talking about this one here?
Yeah, that is the fast release. You take it you take it down and then you stop there.
Yeah, stop there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have to think of the distance also. This distance is very little. Maybe on it's too near a reaction area,
yeah.
the range to the left. So maybe that's not a good idea to trade anyways.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is a good question. Yep, we have a range towards the left.
Yeah.
Release, right? Sort of. We push up. When we came back down, there are a few things you have to assume. If we are in an overall downtrend, these are the kind of stuff where it's just gonna give you a reaction for these guys to slam down. So here you're under the assumption that, okay, we are in an overall downtrend. We have done a huge pullback and then transitioning into the sell side. Where price will stop when this thing comes down, this piece, it might just stop around these kind of zones. So are they going to be a huge problem? Generally, no. Especially if you start to see a pullback coming in slow. Well, in this case, it's not that slow. You would try and sell this alongside the bigger trend.
Yeah, as long as you have at least 1 hour or 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The main problem usually only comes in when we are trying to reverse a trend. So stuff like, I don't know, maybe here. So those are the problems where it could happen. Okay. All right. Let's dive a little bit into volumes. You guys will see that I use. Okay, I have this on, but it doesn't really matter what volume I use. If you guys want to use exactly what I'm using, it's called I'll put it in the link later on. Okay, basically it's just the same thing, but the higher volume has different colors, that's all. So I just want to see where my high volume is. Right? Okay. You guys need to take a 5-minute break because I think I need to continue for another 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, sure.
Break, 5 minutes.
Thank you.
All right. Everyone back?
Yep, back.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Not gonna go for too long. Just a little bit here. Then we're gonna focus more on this for the next 2 days. Okay. Ross, just one word. What does volume mean? Just one answer.
Number of transactions.
All right. Casey?
Just could mean
I can't hear you.
oh, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Ross took my answer. Now, it could be people moving money or adding money. I don't know if that's transactions.
I guess that's more or less activity, right?
Like, okay.
Stevan, Dennis, Laila, is there anything else? Or they all just stole your answer also?
Yeah. It is a lot of transactions, many buyers and sellers or sellers.
Yeah. Okay, so if we have a bar, just one single bar like that, if there's super high volume, there's a lot of activity going on, there's a lot of transaction going on, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. If this bar was coming from a huge downtrend, what does this tell us?
That there's
Buyers
that
could, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Casey.
That's your volume bar on the bottom, correct?
Yeah.
Is that a high bar? I take it.
Yeah, relatively higher.
Okay, so it's high. That means that possibly that downtrend is coming to an end. There's a word for it. I can't think of it, but it's peak volume, I think is the word for it. But it means that possibly either someone's stepping in or removing a bunch of money, and it possibly could be coming to an end.
Okay, so you're more leaning towards possibly a bit of both, right? Would it be right to say that just based on this alone, this downtrend is gonna die?
I don't think alone at all. You have to have a little bit more information.
Yeah, that's good. So right now, try for the remaining time we have, try forgetting about how we use try not using charts to think about a trade. If, let's say, we are only looking at volumes, okay, let's say we have this and this and this. I guess that's not the best way to say things. If we do see high volume here, right? Say relatively low. This information alone is just telling us that someone's doing something up there. Right? We wouldn't know if it's gonna continue or if it's just gonna stop. All we know is there is a lot of transaction, there's a lot of activity going on. All right? Okay. So if there's a lot of transaction going on at X price, what happens if this price, let's say price goes down? What happened here? Dennis, what happened around those zones? If there's a lot of money going on here. Okay, I see you're typing in. cashing out, profit taking. Yeah, it could be a little bit of both, right? Could be a little bit of both. All we know, there's a lot of activity going on and price resolved towards the downside. So think about it this way. Activity means buy and sell, right? So if there's a lot of buyers or sellers inside this zone here and price resolved down, don't we already have a trap where, there could release? So now this is the part where we gotta use volume together with traps. Okay. In a downtrend, we will see stuff like the whole reason why volume is so important is one of the reasons is because sometimes when we have this kind of situation where the last guy who started is here, if we want to get a kill, price have to travel this kind of distance, right? Then we need a pullback towards this area for us to do a release. Now, if let's say we change the scenario up a little bit, if we have this going on and this going on, let's say if there's super high volume at the bottom, can we trust this?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
you didn't take out the guy who started, but you have the volumes behind you instead of the guy who started with no volume.
Yes.
Yeah. So all this just means there's a lot of money here, a lot of buyers and sellers. All of those people are trapped. Hence, this thing might just push here instead of waiting for this guy to be taken out. Okay, so sometimes we will see trades like this. Pound USD is one of them from yesterday. Now, before getting ahead of ourselves here, there's a concept we want to focus on, especially on our pullback phases. So let's say we're fading an uptrend, right, to continue the sell side. The area where we want to see a high volume is not here, it's not here, it's not here, it's not here. It's supposed to be at the top. This piece everyone understands, right?
Yes.
Right.
Let's say around here, you have high volume on this cluster. Is the sell safe?
Down to there, not safer than that. You can't push it more than where the volume started.
Okay. All right. Stevan, what do you think?
I think I'm not sure about this.
Ross, what do you think?
I think an indication of high volume would be activity. So yeah, it's so you've got sorry going through that again. So you got volume part way up the price rise, and then volume at the top.
Yeah.
So you got both of them.
Yeah.
First one might indicate that it might continue. Well, it's high volume, and the result is it rising. At the very top, further volume might indicate people cashing out. So would it be? Yeah, I wouldn't tend to trust the sellers from there.
All right, good. So what you said just now was pretty important. High volume here, but it resolves up. So that's a problem for us because all this high volume could just mean there's buyers, there's sellers inside this zone here, right? Here, high volume here resolves down. All right, so just based on technical analysis we have learned so far, it's going to release. But we wouldn't know if these guys, just based on volume itself, want to release also. So here it creates a money spot, not just based on technical analysis, but based on volumes. All right. A key phrase I would say that we always use is always have volume behind us. Okay, and not have volume ahead of us. So let's say if you're trying to do the sell, we want to have volume behind us. These, and not have too much volume ahead of us here.
This would be two release points. So you could anyway take, depending on how it looks, take it from that release point down to the other release, and that's it.
Yeah, you can potentially do that. Remember the question you were asking me earlier about this piece like that. So we were saying to sell this, and then maybe this range is going to cause us problem here, something like that. Now let's look at this like that. If we're in a downtrend, right? Highest volume you see so far is all at the bottom. Okay, at this stage, there's two possibilities. It could resume down, which is going to be good for the downtrend, or it can resume up, which is going to be bad for the downtrend, right? When it resolves up, if there's high volume, this sell here is going to be extremely risky, depending on how much volume there is.
Comparing to the volume there,
Yeah.
up there, yes.
Yeah, compared to the volume up here. So, so that's one thing to remember, always have volume behind us and not have volume ahead of us. The other thing that we will get into more tomorrow is gonna be identifying this piece. Okay, this is A setup, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so from this point, right? Let's say that super high volume compared to the rest. Is that good for our sell?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. This piece here. Let's say there's super high volume there. Before it goes down, it's all low volume. Is that healthy?
Can you explain that again?
So,
Okay, this piece, high volume, and then all of this, slow volume. Is that healthy for a sell?
Yeah. No,
No.
it's helping after the fact, after the push down, the kill. Then you could say that is the release point, but you wouldn't take the sell over that.
Mm.
Yeah, we wouldn't take the sell here, but,
No.
but
Here,
here,
yes. Yeah.
Yes.
here, yes, right?
Yes.
it resolves to the downside.
Yeah, so this piece, high volume, what is it telling us at this point?
This could be both.
At-
Could be both what?
It could be both. It could be the buyers trying to take it up, but or cashing out, and the sellers are building up position to take it down.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So again, volume just shows activity. This has this price here basically has activity, and then when we take out the guy who started, that's our technical analysis. Hence, the release should go. Okay, right. Now, what happens if no volume? All high volume is just all right here from this guy. Is this safe?
No, we still haven't taken the guy who started out with the high volume. So we still have high volume in front of us. It's no longer behind us anymore.
Let's say he's taken out. Let's say if he's taken out here.
Okay.
Is this safe?
If it, okay.
I still think they could attempt.
Yeah, let that go ahead. Yeah.
If it just jumps up right away, then it's still the buyer around. If it takes it out much more than this, maybe, and then you see if it comes back slowly, so you would take it from where the buyer died.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. We'll come back to that. Casey, what were you saying earlier?
I just think that yes, we took him out with a little poke out, but I still think that he could reattempt. That there's still maybe some high money in there. Not sure if I'm looking at that correctly. I think there's still a chance he could try to push up again.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm not drawing this low enough. Let's say it's low enough.
Then sure.
Then it would be the seller.
Yeah. Now, same thing, right? It's the exact same thing. Just use logic here. All of this is just showing buyers want to resume towards the upside. Okay. When buyers resume towards the upside, ideally, SNR, high volume, they should go. They have to go. Otherwise, what's all this volume for? You know, you show us so much volume, but in the end, you're not going anywhere. Get crashed, taken out. He's trapped. He's trapped. Everyone's trapped.
Yes.
All right. So some of you guys may think ahead and say, if there's high volume here, this is where buyers initiated from. Shouldn't price just release from here instead of coming all the way back up?
No, because this is the high volume, and then they tried a lot more there with confidence that there would be even more buyers there.
Here.
And yes, and the sellers just kicked it from there. So it could go up to there, yes.
Yeah. That's true. I agree with that as well. I would generally take this trade a lot more than taking trades like this here. Now, the thing is, we always have to use technical analysis and volumes together. In this case, yes, we have a lot of buyers trying here, but here we cannot ignore the fact that, you know, although there's no volume, this area here invites a lot of technical analysis traders. Retail traders like us. So the main problem about trying to sell here versus this one here. Here you might take a trade, it might work, might not work. You might get a stop loss, but you might have to get in again around here. So it depends on what type of trader you are. Generally, I just like to go for one hit, one kill kind of thing. So this would be the sort of like the last resort I have, last line of defense. So it should go.
Right. Right.
unless you're a little bit more aggressive. Naveen is a little bit more aggressive. Sometimes you try here, sometimes you try there. But for now, let's all just focus on this one here because it's the safest one. Yeah? Okay. So far I've went into volume ahead and volume behind us. When we are looking at a trend, there are a few things we will look into in the future. For now, let's look at this like this. No volume. All right. High volume, which is good for us. Okay. This is what we call the overall view. Overall. Perhaps on Friday or next Monday, we'll look at the detailed view. So let's just pretend this is our 60-minute time frame. Okay, a huge pullback to resume the sell. The detailed view, this piece, is important because on that piece alone, let's say it's like that. If we get this last guy who started got killed, we want to think about a sell, but we have to look at the detailed view of the volume on this last swing, which is right here. Is the volume here? Is the volume up there? Or the volume here or here? Okay, so if the volume is down here, or no volume, we cannot sell this. Although technical analysis says, we have to sell. Because at the end of the day, high volume, it resolves up. So we wouldn't know who's in control at this stage. Does that make sense? So today's homework, I want you guys to try and do something like this on the live charts. Let me go back to the live charts. Okay. You see my charts here. It says warning. It's nothing really too important. It's just market open. That's it. But for homework today, try and look at this kind of stuff. Only look at the overall swing on the 60-minute time frame or any higher time frame, whatever time frame is fine. But the point is look at the overall swings. And then see where the high volume is. Okay, this is how we identify where high volume, what the volume is trying to tell us. In this case, volume is all below. Volume is all below. Assuming that this is last guy who started. Sorry, assuming that he is still within the same territory, this is the last guy who started. This trade might just be safe enough for us to do an attempt, just based on volume. You see, here's the thing, right? We were contemplating if this is my guy or not. I'm not sure. The only way to be safe enough to take buys like this or waiting for a pullback to do this buy is to understand in this downtrend, let's say if it's coming from a huge uptrend, in this pullback sequence, where is my high volume coming in? Is it at bottom? That could just mean people are cashing out and all those people who were trying to sell with high volume all got trapped. Okay, so when we do this buy here, how much what's the probability of it going high, stalls a bit, and then goes higher? Or is it gonna start doing this? You know, to answer this piece versus this piece, then you gotta see, okay, in this uptrend, where's my highest volume at? So mark out where the high volume is. Around here, much higher than this piece. So there's a good chance where this is just gonna range.
Right.
Yeah. So to give you guys a quick example, on USD, same thing, right? Downtrend, downtrend. Okay. Now, mark out where the highest volume is. The way I like to do it is just put my cursor on the highest volume, the line there. From there, what happened? We resolve down. We resolve down, where's the next highest volume? It's all the way at the bottom. At this particular stage, right here, I wouldn't know what is it gonna do. Is it gonna continue to go down? Are there actually sales coming in, or are there buyers coming in? I'm not sure. Okay, so I stand aside and see what happens. All I know is this downtrend, high volume at the bottom, more so high volume towards the middle end of things. Right? So when we resume up like that, this pullback here might be tradable, just because based on the fact that we are in an uptrend, you know, we have highest volume at the bottom, sort of like a trap, people selling from here and then release from there. Yeah, so I think I'm going too much into volumes now, but again, homework for today is just look at this swing, where the highest volume is. Here and here. Just move it here. Based on that, how healthy the trend is. Okay, so maybe not so healthy because we have high volume at the bottom showing that it's going up. It's good for the uptrend, but highest volume at the top as well, which doesn't really seem good for the uptrend. So just look at swings, see where the volume is, and try and identify if the trend is healthy or not. Tomorrow, we're going to go a lot more deeper into this and using volume with traps. All right, any questions? No? All good? Ian.
I have a question, yes.
Yep.
I can see here some warnings over the volume indicator. I don't remember, I saw it on, you see warning on the volume indicator. Yeah.
No,
it is another.
I think there's a bug for me here because this usually only happens when market open for me.
So it should not be there, something like this.
Yeah, it shouldn't be there. If you put on the normal one, it's the same thing. You have high volume here, high volume here as well. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Maya was saying, what does the current high volume tell you now on pound USD? So, high volume at the bottom, right? It's good. And then high volume on this bar going up. Regardless of what it is gonna do next, if it continues to go up or down, right? Regardless of what it's going to do next, all we know is the trend has been going on from here to there. Multiple swings in a huge uptrend, right? Not making higher highs. High volume here. Then you don't really want to be too convinced that the buy can still continue, because why is there high volume up there? It would be even better if, you know, all these guys get trapped and then we do a sell like that. Maybe not selling this, but the point I'm trying to make is why is everyone trying to buy so high up there?
Can I have a question?
Yep.
This, if we take a sell from there, I can't see now, it's not about volume, but we could look at volume also. These swings that the buyer did, it's not, you don't see any trap there because it's all the buyer. So you could potentially take it down to where it started, where the volume started.
If we're doing a sell,
Yeah.
you do not see any. Yeah, this is the release for the buys, right? Below this area here, there's no traps, right? So yeah, I guess if you were to sell this, yeah, you would try and target lower prices.
Yeah, you could still look at the volume, even though there is no trap, but the volume says, okay, you have volume there. So you could begin to stop there also.
Yeah.
The higher, yeah.
Yeah. So volume is almost like another way for us to look at a level, basically.
Yeah.
I really feel that.
But don't sell this because I'm not sure about this sell.
It's still a trend, upwards trend.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that's the homework for today. If you guys want to recap on traps as well, you guys can do that on your homework. We're gonna go into a lot more tomorrow. Sounds good?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Cool. Watch the recordings. You guys post later on. See you guys tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You.
Well, thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.